All right, let's talk about messaging inside Opterus OPS Center. We're going to dive deep and really pull back the curtain on this super powerful tool. The goal here? To make your internal comms not just more effective, but way, way easier. Let's jump right in.
So, let's start with the million-dollar question, right? How do you make absolutely sure that the important stuff actually gets to everyone? I mean everyone, everywhere, every single time. It's a huge challenge for any team, and honestly, it's the exact problem this messaging module was designed to crush.
Okay, so I want you to completely forget the idea of just another email inbox. This is so much more than that. Think of the Messages module as the central nervous system for your entire company. It's the command center, the hub, where every single piece of internal communication flows.
So, here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at the main hub, how to pick and create the right message, what happens when you send it, how to wrangle your inbox, and then all the cool stuff you can do even after it's been read. All right, Section 1, your communication hub. I like to call this mission control. This is the absolute starting point for, well, everything. Sending, receiving, managing all your internal messages, it all begins and ends right here.
And look, right from this main screen, you've got a ton of power. I mean, of course you can create new messages, but you can also filter your inbox to find what matters, search for basically anything, see exactly who's read your stuff, that's huge, and even handle approvals.
Okay, on to our next step, choosing your message type. You know, before you type a single word, this is probably the most important decision you're going to make. You've got to pick the right tool for the right job, because that's the foundation for getting your communication right.
So check this out. It really boils down to 4 main types. You've got your standard new message. Think of this for official announcements where you have to know who read it. Then you have location and private messages, which are awesome for just having a conversation, back and forth between stores or just a couple of people. And message templates? Oh man, these are a total game changer for anything you send out over and over again. A huge time saver.
All right, so we've picked our tool. Now for the fun part, actually building the message. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to put together something that's super clear, targeted, and actually gets the job done. Think of these as all the little levers and dials you can pull to get your message just right. That add button? That's how you pinpoint your exact audience. Category is so important for keeping things organized. It gives you those nice little colored tags. You can also jack up the priority, schedule it to go live on a specific date, and even set an expiry date so it just disappears when it's no longer relevant. Super handy. You know how it is. We are all drowning in information. So the big question is, how do you make your message pop? How do you make sure it doesn't just get lost in the noise? Well, luckily, OPS Center has some pretty brilliant ways to help you do just that. And here they are. You can actually pin a message so it stays stuck right at the top of everyone's list. You can slap an urgent priority on it, which adds those big red "look at me" icons. Those category labels we talked about, they give you a quick visual cue. And get this, for really sensitive stuff, you can add a watermark with the user's name on it. Pretty cool for security.
So, you've written the perfect message. You're ready to go. But wait, for the really important stuff, hitting send isn't always the end of the story. There's often a really important quality control step to make sure everything's buttoned up before it goes out.
And that step is called an approval workflow. Just think of it like a safety net. It's a simple process that sends your message to a specific person or people to get their stamp of approval before it actually goes live for everyone else to see. And the process is super logical. You, the author, create and submit your message. It lands in your boss's or whoever's inbox. They can then approve it, reject it, and tell you why, make a few tweaks themselves, or even send it up the chain for another look. Once it gets the final go-ahead, boom, the message activates and goes out. Okay, so messages are flying around, they're getting approved. Now the challenge flips. It's about you and your inbox. Let's talk about how to go from that feeling of information overload to feeling totally in control.
The secret weapon here? It's filters. Honestly, think of these as your personal inbox assistant. You can slice and dice your view any way you want. Want to see only things waiting for your approval? Done. Or maybe just messages from the operations team. Easy. You can even say, just show me the high and urgent stuff from this week. It's an amazing way to cut through the noise.
And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. When you find a filter view that you just love, one that makes your life way easier, you can actually save it. Just click that Remember This Filter option, and that'll become your default view every single time you log in. No more setting it up every day. So you might think that once a message is read, the story's over. But it's not. There's a whole bunch of powerful things you can do after a message has been delivered. The message is still a living, useful thing.
Now, this is absolutely critical to understand, the difference between edit and clarify. If you just have a typo or a small update, use clarify. Why? Because it keeps all of your read receipt data. No one has to reread it. But if you need to make a big change, like adding a whole new group of people, you have to use edit. Just know this is like a total do-over. It resets all your read reports back to 0 and treats it like a brand new message. It's a really important distinction.
And speaking of those read reports, this is easily one of the most powerful features in the whole system. You can see in real time exactly what percentage of people have read your message. And you can click into that report and see who has and who hasn't, right down to the specific person and the exact time they opened it. No more guessing games.
And there's even more you can do with a message after the fact. You can view that compliance report we just talked about, forward it privately to someone who missed it, copy it to make a new version without starting from scratch, archive it to get it out of your inbox but keep it for your records, or, and this is a nice safety net, delete it, knowing you've got a 2-week window to bring it back if you change your mind.
See, when you use it right, this isn't just an inbox. It's a tool that drives action, makes sure everyone is on the same page, and honestly, builds a more connected, efficient team. It's incredibly powerful. So, the only question I have for you is, your next message could really change things. Are you ready to send it?